Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we're back in studio answering your business questions, and we're going to throw a little curveball to you guys out here in just a second, so stay tuned. I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blu-ray XL, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypak, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. We normally start with good morning, Zach, but Zach is out today. He's kind of dealing with all his fun stuff for his new building that we talked about on the Instagram Live. So therefore, default. Good morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Actually, I'm doing really well right now.
Yeah, because you had McDonald's.
Oh no,
and
my stomach's a little upset. No, it's because I'm sitting. I'm like, get to, instead of looking at your ugly ass, I have the most beautiful woman in the world sitting right next to me right now, and I get to look at her the whole time.
You still got to look at him too, though.
I do. But she outshines him. You know, kind of like a bright light, right? It just kind of blinds him out, and I don't have to look at him.
Background noise.
Yeah.
So do me a favor, Spider. Every time that John's camera angle is like looking at her in awe, like put my angle to the other side, so it seems like he's gazing at me the whole time. You know,
with like little heart emojis.
Yeah, there you go, Spider.
Like
a little romantic music, Spider, going on every time he looks at me. You know, kind of throw that on there. So
yeah, no, look, I'm ready to rock and roll. I am a little thrown off because we don't have our boy Zach, but we understand he's like right on the cusp of making some big things happening, and right now some pretty testing times for him, dealing with like inspectors and getting the new building up and running and getting everything else moved out from the old place. So we're with you there, Zach. Wishing you the best, and I can't wait to go down there and check out the new spot. But back into Texas again, having fun.
It's our happy place.
It is our happy place, right?
I'm already starting to get it. It's the bakery podcast. There's a lot of cupcaking already going on.
Yes.
Always.
Big shout out there to Maria, and that's Joel. So big shout out to you.
Yes.
And then, so the curveball for today is that we don't have Zach in. And so at the last minute, we just kind of wait a second. We have our third host that we can bring onto the podcast. And so John and I talked about it, just to let you know, yesterday. We had this master plan that he didn't tell you about.
Of course.
But the whole time that John and I were talking yesterday over to the side, I was like, hey, just don't tell Janie. I don't want you to freak her out. But tomorrow morning, I'm going to send you a message, and I'm going to be like, hey, you have to be here early because we're going to put her on the podcast, and I kind of need her to kind of go through the script because we're going to have her co-host. So John was in on it the whole time, just to let you know.
Of course he was.
So Janie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. I'm in Texas. I love it here.
Yeah.
Always super excited to come. And I got tagged in from the couch. So now I'm at the table.
That's right.
The last two, I was sitting over there, wishing I was over here. So
So the truth comes out, John.
Yeah, see?
The truth comes out, because she's always like, oh, I'll just sit over here. I'll be okay over here. But I think she's watched enough times that she's like, I got this. I can do this.
Well, I wasn't nervous until about 2:30 this morning. Then I woke up like, oh, shit.
Well, the reality is she's going to do such an amazing job, right? It's going to make us level up our game. So we talk about these types of things, right?
Well,
then
her and I are in the same playing field. She's going to make you look bad, not me.
Why? For sure. Wow.
You know, so
Wow.
So don't be throwing me into they're going to make it right because
Yeah.
her and I kind of we worked on this thing
Yes,
together, right,
yes.
Janie?
Right.
So we're good.
All right.
I'm just trying to figure out why John looks so good.
Oh, wow.
Out of all these cameras, look.
Look, is it the
I'm-
me?
He's
I'm out.
glowing over there.
I'm
Oh,
out.
look, I'm telling you.
That it's true though. Look at
We're
the
awfully
glare.
white over here,
That's
aren't
what
we?
you do to me, babe.
Look at the glare on that beard. It's like
Look.
He's
you know what? It's,
Stunning this morning.
it's like a little reflection over this way. We have to kind of block from the side that reflection.
Wow, you're gonna make me blush.
The beard is on point.
Thank you. Thank you.
On point today.
So yeah.
Look at her.
Joel,
She's already killing it.
Joel is saying glistening beard.
Yeah, glistening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I think you know what it is, Joel. What happens with John is when we do the Instagram lives, he shows up and he's like all white from bead blasting, and he's like all tired, and he's like, But when we do the podcast in studio, he gets his hair done, the makeup, he shaves his head, he does the beard glow
Because I didn't work all
stuff,
day.
and-
I didn't work all day. I'm here. It's like vacation.
I just
Right.
I thought it was the grease from the McDonald's.
Could be. I am a messy eater for sure.
That's true, Spider. He was eating it with both hands because he was starving. And Spider, this just tells you the palate that this guy has is a very expensive palate when it comes to food. So if Homeboy is eating McDonald's, you know we are in a tough
Down
situation.
The
bad.
last resort.
That is like,
It's survival time.
yeah, yeah. So we're driving down here, Spider, and he's like pitch quiet, like serious. And I turned to Janie and I'm like, we got to feed this guy because this guy is just going to be a mess at the podcast. And so I'm like, I need some coffee. And he was like, great, I'll do some sandwiches from McDonald's. And I knew at that point that it was bad.
We almost got in an accident when I said that, right?
Yeah. I'm like, you swerving all over the road. What?
Going 120. Make sure we get there in time before I get crazy in the truck.
I thought he was going to go, I need a big, huge steak with eggs for breakfast before we do the podcast.
That is my go-to breakfast: steak and eggs.
Yeah?
Steak and eggs and eggs Benedict. That is mine.
I got
That's
a place
my
for
jam.
y'all
Yeah.
while you're here.
Oh.
It's right down the street from here too.
Oh,
What is
okay.
it called?
Derby.
Derby.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
where we're
like,
going right after this.
Yeah, it's a cool place. They got like I think it's like a 40,000 square foot car garage where people store all different kinds of cars and stuff. And so one side of the restaurant is just a glass wall where you can look out in the warehouse and see all these crazy
Oh
cars.
yeah, we're there.
Oh,
That's
hell
where
yeah.
we're going.
Yeah, we're going
That's
there
it.
for sure.
That's it.
Yes.
Look at that.
Got me at cars.
Well, all we needed to do was talk about food in front of Spider, and it sounds like he's got it all covered.
Oh yeah. I've been here for a lot of years, all of the years that I've been alive at least, and so I know all the spots.
Nice. A big shout out over here to Jeanette, which, by the way, Janie, did you see that cover of the Pool Pro magazine?
I did. Isn't that
I
amazing?
know.
It's freaking cool. So, Jeanette, big, huge shout out to you. out there,
Congratulations.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
She deserves it. She's an amazing person. I mean, seriously. I
Absolutely.
mean, talk about she's absolutely amazing. So, congratulations out there, Jeanette. You are a rock star. 100%.
Yes, you are.
So, Jeanette, just to let you know, you and I have an agreement that you will not sign another copy of that magazine except mine. So, two things. One, don't let me catch one online seeing somebody else with a signed copy. And then number two, here's what I'm going to do. So, you know how Leanne did the picture frame for me with
Oh,
the
yeah.
magazine?
Yep.
So, I got Michelle to sign the Pool Girl of the Year. I got her to sign because she was in the magazine, the last magazine, and then now Jeanette. So they are both Pool Girls of the Year at the Pool Nation Awards.
Perfect.
So I want to get that signed copy, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one of those picture frames, and then I'm going to put those two signed copies with the Pool Girls of the Year.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
How
Yeah.
cool is that?
That is badass.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to get a lot of memorabilia. By the way, I have.
I can still see the one you have of us.
I do have.
Still on the floor. I
On the
think,
floor.
in the
right.
garage or something like that.
So here's.
But oddly, you have a picture of like Zach above your toilet. The picture in the Pool Pro magazine, that was kind of bizarre.
That was weird.
Is
Huh?
that why you always want me
Yeah.
to use the guest room restroom and not yours?
So I thought it was backwards. Isn't
But
it?
it was weird, and
Isn't
you had like
it's a-
candles. So I was like, and rose petals and shit. I was like, I don't understand it, but teach their own.
I think it's
Well,
a shrine.
you know,
is
it
what
is a
it's called.
shrine.
If
Yeah.
you're going to be
Yeah.
in a shitty situation,
Yeah.
right? You gotta.
Yeah.
Poor Zach.
Perfect.
So, but by the way, you do know I have a piece of memorabilia signed by you, right?
Oh no,
You probably don't remember this.
no.
No.
So I got you to sign a Bob Lowry PCTI book.
Really?
Yeah, I got it at home. And here's the funny thing: I have 2 of those books, and I got one that is crisp, Christine, and I always know which one is the signed one because it's like perfectly. And the other one's the one that I open and I scribble on. And I
Wow.
That's
do
gonna be
all that
worth
kind of
some money
stuff.
soon.
Yeah,
Sure.
So,
Right.
so I got that signature. The only very, very, very sad part is I would have loved to get Bob to sign it,
Yeah.
and that was my goal at back then. But unfortunately, we
Wait,
we
hold
lost our
on.
friend. Yeah.
Why don't you have mine?
What's that?
What about mine? I believe I'm on the cover of the Pool Girl magazine.
So changing the conversation.
Mhm.
Right.
You're right? What the hell?
Wow, she's getting good at this. She just
Yeah,
threw me under
she
the
is.
bus, and look, now I'm going to
I'm
be
like,
on
wait a
camera.
minute.
Like, like no
Janie.
response.
You can't do that to Edgar. Dude. Remember we had that conversation. You can't throw him off his game because he just shuts down.
Right?
Yeah.
I was actually in 2.
Yeah.
There's a cover, and I'm on the inside.
Janie, I'm trying to hook you up here, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to be on my side,
Yeah.
and now the tables have turned
Yes.
quick. So, so she says I have to sign one for Brian. No, Brian does not get a signed copy of that book, Jeanette. I will.
We love Brian.
I will throw a fit. We love Brian, but that's why. Now that way I could tease him. So if you can give me my signed copy and give it at least 3 months, then what I could do is for 3 months I could go
Yeah.
all over social media and brag that I have the only copy, and then I can make it seem like I gave up, and I'm like, okay, you can have a copy now. So, anyways, good morning, Maria. I think I gave her a shout out already, but Maria, appreciate it. Appreciate your message the other day. And then look at that, Maria saying she needs one signed as well. So, yeah, and Maria was the first one to post about the magazine thing. So I think Maria's going to
Awesome.
need a signed copy. Uh-oh. Sorry,
Wait.
Jeanette.
I'm waiting to see when we're going to get Maria on the cover.
On the-
she's
on the cover.
Right?
talk about another badass woman in the industry. So
Yeah. And
Definitely.
here's what I love about Maria. Maria goes through her business, and I mean, we all know that sometimes it's kind of tough out there, and we kind of go through our struggles. But man,
Stop looking at me.
she could be going through craziness and busy, and they'll call her, and she'll stop what she's doing to help the
Dude,
people that are
she is-
next to
That's
her.
amazing.
So
just you can't even words don't even describe how much of a genuinely sweet person she is, right?
Yeah.
She is the first person to go up there and congratulate her brothers and sisters that
Yep.
are out there, and just seriously means it. Most people kind of get like, you feel like, oh, okay, accolades and stuff for other people in the industry, but she genuinely, really, really means
it.
everything about
Yeah.
it, which just makes her just an amazing person. And if anybody has the honor to meet her in person, you will know that exactly. She is a sweetheart. And
So sweet.
yeah, she's. We need more people like her in our industry for sure.
More Marias.
100%, 100%. All right, everybody, let's kind of jump in here and get started. There's a couple things that we want to talk about. But first of all, Janie,
Yeah.
we're super excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
So we are.
I
Super,
might give
super-
you my autograph.
You might give me your
I
autograph?
might.
Now I got to see if I have one of those magazines, because I know John's not going to let me live it down. Every time I talk to him, he's going to be like, "Did you get the autograph? Did you get the
Mhm.
autograph? Did you get the autograph?" So, anyways, couple things that I wanted to talk about for everybody listening out there. Through Heritage, they have the Pool Tech program. If you are not a member of their rewards program, you're going to want to sign up. For every product that you buy, you get a credit back on your account, and they have the Pool Tech products, which is double, I believe, double the points or extra points, so you get more rebate on that. And right now they have a rebate for the Avia. So the
Yeah.
Avia has a certain
I think it's like 200,
200.
and then you have an additional 150, I believe, on top of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And so, for everybody listening out there, that is part of the heritage, the PEP stores, Texas Pool Supply, anything that belongs into their network. And then the other thing, John, is that they moved, I believe, Central U.S. into May 1st. So remember how
June,
it was?
It was going to go June,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so I believe Texas is already. I went to Texas Pool Supply this week, twice actually this week. They had all the signs up. It looks, absolutely amazing. And I need to take you to that store, John, because their floor is humongous. And they have, you walk in and they have furniture and they have equipment and they got, shelves and all that. So you got to check it out. It's a great setup that they have there. So,
And then those of you that have already signed up, I believe just a couple days ago, we got our first email, our welcome email too, kind of talking about the program and what's offered and the money that you're going to get back. But make sure if you haven't signed up, log on. You can do it on the Poolman University app. You can do it through there. You can go to Heritage and do it through there. But make sure you do it because it's free money. And it's an amazing program available for everybody.
Everybody.
I like that.
You like that, everybody.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so as far as for like housekeeping, another thing we need to talk about too as well is we have the women's networking event, right?
Yes.
That's coming up.
Yes.
And when are we going to have that? When is it? What's the date?
August 25th?
August 25th.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, August 25th.
Came ready.
August 25th.
Oh, I think I know that.
I think
Oh, that's funny. You want me to tell you a real quick story?
That is funny.
Uh-oh.
August 25th.
Wow, I'll never
Yes.
forget that day now.
Uh-oh.
That's why when you said it, see, did you see the twinkle in my eyes, right? And I lit up. I can't remember. I hardly remember dates, right? And if I don't have a calendar,
Forget it.
about it. Right?
Don't tell me it's one of your kids' birthdays.
No.
Okay.
But it's
Close.
even worse. I think it's worse.
Okay.
I took my bracelet off.
I saw you dropped it.
So, it's a funny story. We were talking about, so Janie and I's anniversary is on, I think I said this story before at the very, very beginning. So
Probably.
for those that
I don't
haven't
remember
listened-
it.
Okay. So for those that haven't listened back, this was like, I think 1, 2, or 3 episode. I think I said this, but I'll share the story because I think it's funny. Janie and I's anniversary is December 31st, right? Don't ask me the year.
Why don't I remember that? Because that's
Yeah.
an easy one, December
Yeah,
31st.
I just
New
know-
Year's Eve. Yeah.
It is easy, right? And
Yeah.
there's a reason why we got married on the 31st. So I was working in my previous life, right?
Uh-huh.
Doing what I'm doing
Mhm.
and being very financially minded.
Responsible.
Yeah.
Right.
I decided that, well, I knew Janie was the one and I was going to marry her,
Uh-huh.
right? And I figured out, hey, look, well, if I'm going to marry her, I need to marry her by the 31st or on the 31st. And the reason why is so that I can claim her all year as being married.
God.
Because I was single zero, right? And I was making good money back then.
Yeah, my mom really appreciated that.
Oh.
It was truthful. And I was 100% honest with it. I wasn't lying. I was like, if we're going to get married, we're going to get married. And we eloped and we went to Vegas
Yep.
so that we can get married. And so that I got to claim her that year on my taxes.
And my mom asked him too, "Are you going to claim her?" He goes, "Absolutely."
I'm gonna
She
claim
goes,
her.
"You dog."
Yeah, because then she couldn't claim her as a dependent anymore, right? Because I said I'm claiming her. So that's
Yeah.
100% the truth. But because we eloped, my mom, God rest her soul, she's an old little Greek lady, right, and very traditioned and stuff like that. And
She was mad.
she was very hurt and pissed off. See, look, and I get it. And I was young. I was a kid. I was dumb.
How old were you?
20
I
years
was
old.
18,
Yeah,
so
I was
you were
20, 19.
almost 20.
Yeah, almost 20. So young.
So that's
Yeah.
young, yeah,
Yeah,
right?
we're
Yeah.
young and dumb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
we were young when I said it. We've been married now for 21 beautiful years. So, did I just date myself? I think I did.
That's funny
You
because
did.
I've been married for 21 years too.
Yeah, really?
That's crazy.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
So we did that, and there's a little more backstory to that, right? Should I get into it?
Go for it.
Yeah,
why not?
why not?
Come on,
Okay, so
share
look-
it.
okay, look,
You
so-
got my
All
attention.
right, here we go, guys. I guess we're not going to talk about
we're-
pools today. So
We're going to get up close and personal.
Spider, how'd you like that? How'd you like this
We are
twist that
gonna-
we're taking today?
we are going to get a little personal here. But again, look,
Compared to what we had planned, I love
That's
this.
true.
Right.
So being old school, being raised traditionally, right? I guess however you want to put it,
Yeah.
right? But my father and my mother, it was a traditional home that I grew up in, and we had traditional values. And it was, however. So, anyways, what ended up happening was the minute I met Janie, we never spent a day away from each other, right? Being young and dumb, Janie ended up getting pregnant. Okay. And she was young. I was young. So the minute that we found out that she was pregnant, I said, "Holy shit!" Right? I'm living on my own with a friend of mine, a roommate, and Janie was living at home. So I said, "Okay." I go, "Well, as a man, this is what I had to do. So I need to find a place,
Right.
And get our own place before we talk to your parents." And let them know what's going on, and then we need to get married.
Can I
Yeah.
ask Janie for a
Yeah.
quick second here?
Yeah.
How freaked out were you when you found out that you were pregnant?
Definitely surprised. Yeah.
What was it, like panic?
Actually, no, it
No?
wasn't like oh my God. It was like, oh shit. Okay, we're doing this. Let's go. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Yeah.
That's what I
No.
thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say, right?
Yeah. It was
So-
a surprise, but
But
Yeah.
you're like, I got this.
yeah, it was like
Okay.
okay.
Sorry,
So I'm
Doug.
like, no, I'm okay. So all of a sudden I go, okay, this is what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So within like 2 weeks, we found an apartment. We found a place.
Within 2 weeks?
It
Yeah.
was within 2 weeks. Yeah, I found a place, and it was a little
Condo.
studio, a little studio condo.
Uh-huh.
No, it wasn't a studio.
2-bedroom.
It was a 2-bedroom condo. At the time, I remember we paid $1,000 a month.
Yep.
This was 21 years ago.
That's
right?
a lot
22
back
years
then.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot back then.
And
It was all included though, utilities, everything.
Yeah.
everything. So I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to do that, and we're going to get this place. We signed the lease. We did what we needed to do, and we told Janie, okay, we're going to get married.
Now let
Because
me ask
we
you,
can't-
who
yeah,
were you working for that back then?
Best Buy.
So were you
Yeah.
already higher
yeah.
up in Best Buy or
Yeah.
not quite yet?
At the time, I think I was only a sales manager.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
you were
was the
management.
youngest manager, and at the time, and then I briefly became general manager right after that, and I
Mhm.
was the youngest general
Yeah.
manager in the company. But I was really young at the time. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, super young.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I need to do.
Mhm.
And so we got the place, and and I said, okay, we're going to get married. I go, is this what we're going to do? We're going to do this, and she's like, absolutely, we're in 100%. Okay, we're going to get married. So then we told her parents, right? And then we told.
How did your parents take it, Janie?
I think
don't
my
know.
mom was excited actually.
Yeah.
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 So, but you guys had been, obviously, it sounds like you guys had been dating for a little bit. So,
Almost a year.
A year.
almost shoot. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot. I
No,
thought,
maybe 6 months, a year almost. I
oh,
don't
wow.
know. Yeah,
Okay.
it
So
was-
that had to be a little bit of a shock.
For sure.
Like, it's different
Yeah.
when you've been dating, high
We-
school sweethearts through the whole
Yeah.
thing. And then,
But we connected like instantly. And
Mhm.
when he says that we didn't spend a day apart, we didn't. Like as soon
Mhm.
as I came home from work and he came home from work, he was at my house or I was at his house
right.
every day.
every day.
But I'm looking at it as a parent
Yeah.
standpoint. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
It's
yeah.
like,
And I was a good kid, right? I wasn't a
Yeah.
thug or a punk or anything like that.
did that change later on
I,
in life?
yeah.
As to now.
I think I wasn't. I was always scary looking. You know what I mean? But no, I think I had hair back then.
I was
He
just going to
did.
I
ask you,
did have
you
hair. I had
back
hair,
then?
so I didn't look
Hair.
as. I didn't look as.
Uh-huh.
Gelled hair. Yeah.
I didn't look as.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to send
Wow.
you a picture.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I will.
So anywho, right? So we went that, and I sat there, and I asked them if I was okay if I married Janie.
So you asked for permission.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how I was
Tradition,
raised.
right?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
how I was raised. When I mean, that's exactly
Mhm.
what it was. I asked for it, and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, you know what I mean? And then got the place and said, hey, like here I am. I present to you. You know what I mean? I'm suited. I'm qualified. I'm able to take care of myself. I can provide for Janie. I can provide for our family. I got us a place. We're gonna
Yeah.
get married. You
We
know what I
got
mean?
this.
Here it
Yeah.
is, kind of like like the little birds that go and kind of present a present to the mate or something like that. Saying, hey, look, is this good enough? Or
He did the
That's
bird dance.
the
Yeah.
bird dance or
Yeah.
whatever. Like that's what I did, and it worked out, and that's what So we were there, and we were living our life there at the condo, and then a few months into pregnancy, Janie lost a baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So, look, I'm weird, and to me, with life in me is I'm a completely different being, right? You know what I mean? I get it, and things happen, stuff like that. But it devastated Janie. To me, I'm like, okay, life is life. My father just passed away too, and just a couple years before, and I was kind of jaded or kind of cold towards that, and kind of still getting over it and trying to figuring that part out. But me and life and death, I accept it as life. I mean, it's something that it is what it is, right? And I was like, okay, well, sorry that happened. You know what I mean? It bothered me, and that it really devastated her, and she was like sick in bed for like 2 weeks. Like, I remember just completely devastated. And I'm like, dude, snap out of it. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? What's going on? Okay, we're going to...
I think you said it happened for a reason. Obviously, something wasn't right.
Yeah.
And
so,
along those lines.
God did this for a reason.
Right.
You know, it's natural. The body rejects because something might have been. So let's take it as a blessing and not look at it as a negative thing. You know, and it's just like, snap out of it, woman. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out, but she was literally depressed for like weeks. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? And I clearly remember sitting down and asking her and talking to her, and she turns around, she tells me that that she was bummed because I always wanted a son, right? And I always wanted that's what I wanted. And I wanted her to give me a son so I could carry out the name, because we don't have much as far as like lineage. Again, all traditional, hardcore,
right? Traditional,
right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm asking her, dude, woman, what's wrong with you, man? You know what I mean? Like, get over this. And then she tells me she was, obviously losing the baby really hurt her, and she was hurt about that. But the reason why she was upset was because she didn't think I was going to marry her now. And that was the reason why I was marrying her, was because we were forcing to marry because of the kid, right? And that, not that I would never marry her, you know what I mean? But we weren't getting married at that moment, you know, because of that. And the marriage was off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Fuck it, let's go right now. I go, this all is in. It, right? Yeah, I'm all in. Yeah. So I told her, and then that's when we decided to just go to Vegas and to get married. And I go, if we're going to do this, I go, we need to do this between this time, and we have to do it before the end of the year. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to wait till after the year. We need to do it beforehand. And I didn't. Again, young, dumb with my mom. My mom didn't really approve of it. You know, she was like, "Oh, well, you know."
And again, very traditional, right? So it's very hard to.
We thought she would
that.
be like, "No, you can't do that. You're so young," and talk us out of it. So we snuck off.
So snuck off and did it, and it really hurt my mom, and I truly regret that to this. I mean, it's one thing that really bothered me that I did that to her, and I feel I was selfish and stupid of me, and I should have never done that. But again, we're young and we're dumb. What do we know, right? As kids. I was a friggin' teenager. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And so we ended up doing, so what ended up happening was, so for my mom, we ended up getting, long story short, we ended up getting married again, a traditional marriage in the Greek church.
Church.
Right?
Yeah.
And so,
for her.
So we did that for her, and we did that afterwards. So we have our Greek anniversary, right? Our traditional anniversary, and then we have our Vegas one when we went out and got married at the Chapel of Love by Vegas. by
And was Elvis going?
It was Elvis, wasn't it?
No,
it wasn't Elvis.
It wasn't Elvis.
No, it was a woman though. A woman married us.
Yeah,
Dolly Parton.
No.
Look, and here's a story. I was so nervous apparently when.
Yes. You know how you repeat what they say? I take you, da 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 da. She said, I take you, Jamie. So he says, I take you, Jamie.
So I think technically.
So I'm like,
you're not married,
right? So I'm sitting there trying to hold it together and not just bust up laughing, because he looks at me like.
Because
like he knew he messed up. It was so funny.
I have a feeling that you would take it as a big, huge laugh and funny, and he wouldn't. He would be like all freaked out.
I was a little. I was up there. I was a little worried, dude.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
dude, I go, I'm actually doing this right now, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like life, because to me, is like marriage is marriage, dude. If there's no nothing, these are death do us part, one or the other.
Yeah.
You know?
Ride or die.
We ride or die, and that's exactly it. So there's no. This is the biggest decision of my life, ultimately, if you really think about it, to find, to marry your partner. And to be with a person your whole life and decide that person's going to be the mother of your children, that's a big decision. And as a kid, I realized it. I mean, I knew that part, and to me, it was like, oh my God, okay, this is a big thing. And I don't get nervous very often, and
we were both nervous.
Yeah, and of course we were. So anyway, so that's kind of how that happened. So we have, a long story short, so we have
that wasn't short, but yeah,
August 25th is our anniversary.
Is there anything ever short about it?
Absolutely nothing.
literally. So,
Carry on.
so
Carry on.
wow.
I think he's blushing.
He is turning red.
Oh.
Spider, put him on that camera, Spider. Look at that red.
So August 25th is our our anniversary, our traditional anniversary, and if it up until like 3 days ago, I couldn't tell you that.
Because of
I'm
couldn't
terrible
remember.
at dates. That's what it comes to dates. I'm like, every time Jenny goes like, oh, you remember? Oh, I remember our anniversary. I would never forget it. And she's like, yeah, right. You don't know our other anniversary. And I'm like, oh, I don't. Every year she has to remind me. I'm the guy who doesn't know.
Mhm.
And I'm the guy who and look, I'll even say too, I love my kids to death. They mean my life to me. I would lay down and give them my life. Literally, I would bleed out for them. And I sometimes have to go, Joe, what's the birthday again? 23 or 26? And I know Bobby's 323 and
24.
Leah's 626 or 324. See? So anyways,
It's
you got a lot
tough.
of kids.
It's
It is
tough,
tough. So
yeah,
I'm just like, oh
yeah.
my God, dude. So I always text her just to make sure, you know what I mean? Whatever. Because I'm just bad. There's some things that I know, hey, I don't really need to retain that. I need to save room as I get older. I'm like a VHS tape,
Mhm.
you know, instead of
Re-record.
you re-record over. So I gotta pick and choose. Instead of always on, I'm like motion detection, right? When I need to record something, I'll record it. When otherwise I won't. So some things with me with dates I don't. But I told Janie and I made a promise to her. I go, okay, you don't think I can remember it? I will. I'm gonna file it away where I need to remember it, and not just put it away.
on my iPhone and put a reminder every year.
Yeah.
No,
He was asking me the kids' birth dates, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, you wouldn't remember our anniversary unless, because you remember it because it's on a holiday, otherwise you wouldn't. He's like, no, what's the other one?
Yeah.
It
and I
was
go-
like-
and she-
Tell me, and I'll always remember it.
Yeah, and she told me she's on August 25th, right? And then I go, okay, watch, I'll always remember it. And
Yeah.
what did I not remember
Yeah.
it right now?
Yeah, but
So when I said August 25th, I looked at him, and he was like,
it,
25th?
it took him a second, right?
Like,
He's like,
I know that date.
25th, I know what.
that's a special day.
Hey, John, don't feel bad because my anniversary is 8/3, and Leanne and I don't do a lot of the celebration kind of thing. We love each other, and throughout the year, like for Valentine's, we don't do anything because throughout the year I'll bring her flowers, so that way it's not like a need for that day to. But our anniversary is October 3rd, and I can tell you that there's been probably 5 times in the 20 years that more than 3 or 4 months have gone by, and then we realize that our anniversary just happened.
Both of you?
Both of us. So
That's funny.
there was
That's
one
funny.
where it was when Sienna was born in June, July, August, right? And it was August 3rd.
June what?
June 27th.
Okay.
Well, actually, Sienna's June 28th,
Ah!
and Dylan is August 27th, so it goes backwards.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what happens with
Yeah,
me.
yeah. So, anyway, so she had, Sienna was born, and so it's like August 3rd, and I walk into the kitchen, and this was like September 30th, and I kind of come by and I give her a kiss, and I go, baby, happy anniversary. And she's all, what? And she's like, what? Well, wait a second. What do we? That's because Sienna. I go, baby. Sienna was born in June. I'm like, it wasn't that you just had Sienna.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
But let me tell you the story. So most of my friends got married right out of high school, had kids. I waited till I was 30. But I'll tell you what happened the day that I decided to propose to Leanne. So I was working in hotels, and so I had it planned out. Bought the ring, had it all planned out as to how it was going to go. We were going to kind of go out to dinner. I was going to propose. And so that day, Dylan was in a private Christian school. And so we had to go to this mandatory, training for the day in order for Dylan to be able to be in that school. And so I go there and just have it all figured out later on that evening, right? And had a reservation at a really nice restaurant in LA, up at the top of a hill. It was just very romantic, had table reserved, looking out, And so all of a sudden, I get a call from the hotel that I was a GM at.
Yeah.
And they're like, Edgar, we have a big, huge problem. And I'm like, what happened? And they was like, there was a party yesterday in one of the venues, and a fight broke out, and somebody got stabbed in their
Jeez.
in their butt cheek. The guy got stabbed, right? So I'm freaking out, right? Like I'm going into complete, panic mode, and I'm at this mandatory thing, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get out of this thing. I'm going to go up there. I get a second call from the hotel, and they're like, Edgar, we have another problem. And I'm like, what's the issue? And then we had an IHOP on our property that we rented out, and there was a whole bunch of big trees to the side. And 2 weeks before, my regional came, and we're sitting walking the parking lot, and he goes, if you don't trim those trees back, you're going to own a whole bunch of cars. So I hadn't set up yet the trimming of the trees. We had Santa Ana's, 4 cars under the trees. And this is all the same day
Oh my God.
that I had it planned out, right? So my mind starts thinking, okay, what's preventing me from proposing to Leanne today?
Yeah.
And I got in my head that it was going to happen no matter what, right? So I'm like, babe, I got to go. I got to leave. I got to go deal with this, stabbing and, obviously the media and all that kind of stuff. We got to keep everything under control. And so I take off. I start calling corporate. We start managing all that stuff. I drive all the way to the hotel. Freaking my phone's ringing off the hook from the people from the cars, and I was getting the press calling, trying to get, information as to what happened at the event and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, crisis mode all day. I get home probably like at 8:30 at night, right? Reservation had come and gone, and I just kind of went, you know what? This is happening today no matter what. And so, Leanne was a little bit bummed because we were going to go out to dinner and so I'm like, baby, it's okay. Why don't we light some candles? Let's watch some TV. And I'm thinking, I'll just kind of do a little romantic thing at home. We'll be watching TV. I'll get
All
down
smooth.
on one knee.
Yeah.
I'll propose. And so I go out and get the little box, put it in my pants, right? And I was wearing like sweatpants, the pockets were loose. And so we're watching TV. We ordered in some Chinese food. Totally now listening to it, it's like it sounds so freaking corny, right? Like what every woman's dream, right?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so I pulled the ring out of the box and I put it in my pocket, and I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden I'm, working up the nerves, right? It takes me a little bit to work up the nerves and to do it. And so I go down to one knee and I start to propose to Leanne and all that kind of stuff. And you could tell she's looking at me like, what the F are you doing? Like, right. And all of a sudden I reach for my pocket.
And it's gone.
My ring had fallen out and had fallen through the sofa.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
So you're like searching?
I'm moving the fit, and I'm like, and at this point, it's like, it's all blotched. Like at this point,
That's
like the whole
comedy.
magic is gone. It's like, now it's like this atrocious story, and she's just
That
looking
is
at me
too
like,
funny.
really?
You
I think that's
jackass.
great. That's a great story.
And then we found the ring between, the sofa, and I gave her the ring, and I said, luckily she said yes. But
that's a good
Well, it's better
story.
than my proposal story because I didn't propose. I don't think I got on it. Did I?
You did.
I did?
You
I don't
did.
even remember. That's how terrible I am.
Yeah. I was sitting in the front seat of your car and you knelt down in the driveway.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. Wow.
wow. I think I owe Leanne a do-over,
Yeah.
so at some point I'm going to have to kind
No,
of
I
figure
think
that
that's
one out.
I think that's
again.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I told her I'll never forget the story, the stabbing, the cars, the
Right?
all
Total,
the,
yeah.
the
No.
chaos, the dropping of the ring, the
Yeah.
No,
all of it.
that's great.
So-
That's a
That
great
was
story.
me. I would have been like, somebody's telling me something here. Like, this is not the
And-
day or
Everything's
something.
against
I was
me.
I was the opposite. I was like, it was going to happen no
Yeah.
matter what. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
everything's against me today. I'm going to make sure that this happens.
Yeah, you wanted
Yeah.
to turn
Yeah.
like one of the worst
You made
days
it
into
through
the
it.
best
Yeah.
day of your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course I botched it through the whole thing. So
That's awesome.
she never talks about the story. So anyways, hey guys, let's do this. Let's take a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we apologize to everybody. We've like completely taken a crazy turn on this podcast today. Have
Kinda
not
cool, though.
talked about
Yeah.
pools. And when we come back, we're going to jump into the pool questions.
Maybe.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. Today, we are doing a podcast on marriage, on proposals, storytelling, how to propose to a pool, right? How to, pool man style, pool man edition, proposals, pool man edition.
Pool man edition.
Maybe we should.
Pool pro
We
edition.
should probably break this up.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a separate podcast about kind of the history of us, right?
Of the cupcaking?
Of the cupcaking, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll do, I don't know, separate. People are going to be listening to this and they're going to be like, dude, what the hell does this have to do with pools? Right?
We're gonna be on the news somehow, where they're just like,
Right.
Yeah.
what kind of podcast is this? So it's
How to botch a proposal,
it's,
right?
it's the dating pool,
Right?
right? It's
There you
all
go.
into the dating pool. So, anyways. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening in. I think what we need to do is we need to kind of start to do a little bit of a deep dive into some of these questions. No pun intended, right? The deep dive, kind of getting into some of these business questions. But before we do that, because we kind of got a little bit off
Just a little bit.
track, right?
Just
No
a little
way.
bit.
Just a minute.
No
Just
way,
a
right?
no.
Right? We didn't get off track. So there's a couple things that we want to talk about, and one is that we're going to be doing a Pool Man and Pool Girl University Training Boot Camp out in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
We have partnered with the International Pool and Spa Show, and we're going to be doing the boot camp that we've been working on. And then we're going to do a two-part. There's going to be some classroom-style training. We've reached out to the Pool Nation instructors, the people that partnered with us at the Western Pool and Spa Show. We're going to be doing some water chemistry enzymes. We're going to be doing filtration. We'll be doing, Steve Barnes will do some hydraulics. And then what we're going to do, and this is where we're kind of starting to geek out, right, John? Where we're kind of getting very creative, and that is that, we really want to do a lot of hands-on training. And when we talk about hands-on training, it's not let's take a pump into the room, put it on the table, everybody turn around the table, and we'll talk about how to program it. You lift the lid, you see somebody else actually connect the wires and do that. Really, our goal is to do something that is really hands-on. And when we're talking hands-on, there's conduit, there's wires, there's connectors, there's wing nuts, there's whatever it is that we're going to have in there, right? That we're going to actually make everybody cut the wires, run it through the conduits, right? And actually wire the pump. And what we want to do is we want to have, for example, some intermatic timers. We'll have some other automations in there. And then everybody goes through the practice of, connecting to each one of those different automations so that when they're out on the field, they can see all the scenarios that happen out in the field. Because I think what happens a lot of times with a lot of these hands-on training classes is, it's just towards one of the three big manufacturers, right? And they just show you what they have. But the reality is, when we go out into the field, there's this big
specific situation
Yeah.
isn't exactly like, all the stars have to align for that situation to happen, because in reality, it's never like that, right?
It never
There's
is.
always going to be some
Yeah.
curveball or something different, that's going to be like, oh, we didn't talk about that. So what we're trying to do is create an intimate environment where we have people really one-on-one. So it's not going to be a big, huge class. It's going to be small, to where we're going to have time to go with each and every person and kind of walk through how to do that. And then answer questions and go through scenarios of different things that might happen, right? So you're not going to be in a room of 100 people, working on something, trying to, you have a question, you don't want to ask something, and or watching somebody do it. So that's the goal, and this is our first beta one that we're trying. I didn't mean to cut you off, Edgar, but that's exactly what we're trying to do here. It's going to be more of an intimate thing where, there are some hands-on training already that a lot of the manufacturers do, and they do a great job doing it. But again, it's just brand specific, and it's pretty overview still. We're talking about from beginning to end, cutting pipes, doing what we need to do, gluing stuff, putting stuff together, the ozone class, showing the benefits of it, how to install it, the different systems, and how to apply it. So I think I'm excited. I think it's going to be different.
Normally, the hands-on classes are usually heaters, as far as like diving in and bringing out tools and stuff. So I like this one because a lot of pool pros aren't working on heaters yet. They're doing pumps and smaller things.
That's a huge point.
And
That's a huge point.
I don't know. I haven't seen that done anywhere where it teaches you how to do the more basic plumbing and stuff
I've
like
gone
that.
to some Pentair trainings where Pentair will have their automation up there, and they have it, but it's already pre-wired, and it's not really from start to beginning.
Right.
But it is definitely hands-on training, and it kind of gives you a good little taste, but it's hard to really kind of grasp. Like I said, the situations vary.
Right.
And it's in like a perfect environment. It's almost like a new build, right? And how many times does a pool professional or one of us, guys or girls that go out to a pad to replace an automation or to put a pump in, it's not a brand new unit that's going in there where you have a clean canvas where you're putting stuff up. When you're replacing an intermatic and putting in an Easy Touch or putting in a 904, right, or putting in whatever, or Hayward system, it doesn't matter.
You open it up, it's a rat's nest.
Exactly. And what do, right? You open it up,
You're
and
like,
you got
whoa.
everything is white, right? You got like, why are all the wires green? and then, depending on which automation and where the bus bar is located and where the grounding bar is located, now you have to create a mushroom field, and how are you going to extend the wire? Where's it coming from? Is it the right gauge? Do you need to replace it? Did it have a GFI, a GFCI? Now you got to add a GFCI to it, right?
They use all stranded.
You got stranded. So it's just like, oh, now is low voltages. No, we need to incorporate low voltage, or low voltage is there. And how in the hell do you? So there's so many different things that you have to understand and know, and that's what we're hopefully trying to tackle. And there's no way we're going to be able to go over all of them, but we're going to be able to at least cover a lot more. Because we don't, reality is we're not, the people that we're going to be training aren't the ones that are going to be there working on a brand new pad with everything just perfect. You got 15 feet of wire, all brand new conduit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's perfectly labeled and ready to rock and roll, and you can set everything up, and you got all the room because it's planned for it, right? You're not making things work or fit and adjusting. So this is what we're going to try to accomplish, and I think this is what's going to be really beneficial to anybody who's going to join us. But spots will be limited because not because we don't want to have a lot of people, but because we want to keep it intimate and we want to make sure that we can answer questions and we have enough instructors in the room to be able to go through those scenarios and talk to them about how to do it. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and how exciting that we've already had some of the pool pros reach out and John and Jeannie that want to be a part of it, and they're like, what can we do, right?
And we will be reaching out to them, and like I said, to our friends out there that are out in the trenches and that do it themselves. We need people there too, walking around, helping and guiding and helping us instruct.
Because that's the other thing with some of the hands-on training is you kind of don't have enough people walking the room, and again, I'm always worried about the person that has the struggle with, they've never stripped a wire before, right? And in a room with a whole bunch of people, that can be intimidating, right? Because you're worried about, oh my God, how are these people going to look at me with like, what part do I use? And it's like, that's what we're completely not about. And so that's why I get excited with the other pool pros reaching out that they want to be part of it, because I want to be like, hey, you don't know how to do that? Here's the effective way to even do just the most basic step. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm super excited about that. So I do have to give a big, huge, absolute shout out to our sponsors that are partnering with us on this, because I'm going to go back to the same thing. And that is that everything that we do is thanks to our sponsors, right?
Do it without them.
Like, we can't do it without them, because the money that they give us for sponsorship is the money that we put completely back into this thing. And so I reached out to Todd and said, hey, Todd, I have an idea, right? And so that was the big joke right there. Oh, here comes the idea. And I said, we want to do a variable speed pump class, but we don't want to do just here's how to program it, here's this, here's that, right? We want to connect your pump to everything else that's out there, right? So it's not just your thing. And he's just like, Edgar, I believe in what you guys are doing, and we completely align with your vision, whatever it is that you need done. And I said, and this is what happened. I said, here's what I would like to do. John's coming out this weekend, and I would like to get a pump and a filter from you so that John and I can kind of start to play with this and kind of give this thing a shape. By Wednesday, I already had the pump and the filter. He's like, whatever it is that you need. And I'm like, Todd, like, we're going to have pumps in this room. This is not, I mean.
Not one pump
This
or
is
two
not
pumps.
one pump.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have pumps in this rooms, and we're going to have conduit. And he's like, Edgar, I believe in what you guys are doing. Let's do it. And then the same thing goes for Raypack. I mean, we already have a call scheduled with Brad, which, by the way, Brad, huge shout out. Love you, brother. Into creating the curriculum for the heater class, because it was the same conversation, Janie. It was not, let's just have two heaters in the class and kind of tear things apart. But, how are we going to teach people in general about a heater, and then use your heater to be able to teach people how to work on other heaters and stuff like that? And they're like, right away, I got the invitation with about 5 other people so that we could sit down and build a curriculum for this training, so that it's what the pool pros need out there. So, I mean,
it's amazing.
To our sponsors that have,
They're the best.
that have, and again, when we deal with our sponsors, the number one thing that we talk about is our visions have to align, right? And so you guys have just been absolutely amazing. So I couldn't go without giving you a thanks, because without them, we can't do these classes that we have going on right here. And we are working on an automation class, so that'll be the third class that we do. So we do the pump, we do the heater, we do the automation. We start with those. I can promise everybody this, and that is that we're working on our relationship with the International, and next year they're coming to Dallas. And I can tell everybody out there, next year is going to be big. Like next year we are going big, or we are going home, John. So
everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, baby. So anyway, so everybody keep an ear out. It's going to be in the registration for the International show. So when the International opens registration, you will be able to kind of go in through and register for these classes that we have on there. They will be Sunday and Monday at the International. Tuesday will be the night of the Pool Nation Awards. Woo, woo. And guess what's happening this year?
After party, baby.
After party.
Pool Nation
Let's
after
get
party.
it. So we will have the Pool Nation Awards, and we will have the Pool Nation after party. And I think this year's after party is going to be dedicated to one person. And that's Michelle Watson.
Oh.
Because Michelle last year, and we had tossed it about it. Remember, Janie?
Yeah.
We had tossed the idea, and she won Pool Girl of the Year, and she was super excited. And then the event was over, and that was it, right? Like everybody leaves, and she was just like I didn't get to hang out with everybody and
celebrate
and that really stuck with me. It's really stuck. And so I think she said, I wonder if, I think it was on a live or something that she said, we need to do an after party. And again, I'm going to come out and I'm going to give some huge shout outs out here. Mr. Terry Arco, which is
dude, right? Terry's a man.
Class act. And Terry, we love you. We just absolutely love you. It's not, hey, we're buddies. It's we love you, Terry. And Terry said, hey, we'd love to sponsor that. We'd love to be part of that. And so they are going to be our platinum sponsors again this year at the Pool Nation Awards. And we're talking with them for the after party. But we have to give them huge shout outs, because everybody listening, we can't put on these events without them. There's just absolutely no way that me, Zach, and John, even if we were writing checks, that we could write those checks to be able to cover the cost.
We could write them, but I don't know if they're going to cash. I mean, because if you guys haven't noticed, when you come to anything that we try to do, and it's our motto, right? If you're going to, we preach this, is like, go big or go home, all in or all out. This is what we say, right? So if we're going to do it's not going to be anything half-assed, because it's not worth my time, and it's definitely not worth your guys' time.
Stay classy, my friend.
Right?
Yes.
Stay classy, my friends. So, when we put on these events, and these events are, they're serious events, and these things cost tens of thousands of dollars to do, and they're not
especially
cheap,
those awards.
Right? So, when we have amazing sponsors like we do, that just believe in what we're trying to accomplish here, and they do it selflessly. It's like, hey, we believe in what the vision and dream is, and we want to help be a part of that as well, because we believe that's where we need to go as an industry, and having great people like, Hasa, talk about, they've been with us from the very beginning.
Yep.
Class act. Anything we needed, they're there. And I have never heard once from anybody, from any of our sponsors, say, we need this from you guys in return, right? Not one of them have ever said that to us, right? And that's why we love them, and that's why we talk about them, saying, hey, look, they believe, because they believe in the bigger picture. Yeah. So again, Terry, Hasa, Rick, Chris, all you guys out there, you guys thank you so much for believing in us and being able to help us make this happen for all the pool professionals out there in the industry, because they deserve it.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Super excited about that. So we're going to be working on that. And then the next thing that's going to be coming out, Janie, is
Women's Networking Event on
August 25th.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So super excited about that event. And I have to be honest, Janie, out of all the events that we're doing this year, that's the one that I'm most excited about.
Really? That's
I'm
awesome.
really, really, really excited about the women's networking event. And the reason why is a lot of what we want to do is create that safe space, right? And so one of the things that irks me is that we have this great industry, and everybody tries to kind of do like their own little thing and just kind of separate over here and separate over there. There's not that let's bring everybody together.
Right.
And so when we had the women's networking event last year, and I'll never forget, the number one thing was, please don't let this be a 1-year thing and then
Yeah.
be done. That was the big conversation.
The energy in that room was unbelievable.
And that's what I'm saying.
Unbelievable.
Is the energy in the room was...
It was intimidating, bro.
It-
What do you
it-
mean
it
unbelievable,
was.
dude?
It
I was
was.
sitting there like, whoa.
It was.
Yeah.
I
I was
sat
like, these women
back.
are
It was girl
tigress,
power.
right?
Girl
Tigress.
power in that
and,
room.
and they had
Yeah.
figured it all out from the
Yeah.
music that was playing. That was
Yeah.
all empowering to the
the
conversation.
playlist. That was
Dude.
fantastic.
It was all absolutely
Good
amazing.
job, Jamie.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of it is really what can we do to bring everybody together, right? Let's get rid of the silos and let's kind of bring everybody together. And I really don't care what company you work for, right? This is going to be at the Heritage headquarters. I don't care if you work for SCP.
Yeah.
If you work for SCP and you're a woman, you belong in that room, right?
Yep.
This is about bringing everybody together. This is not about the silos and all that. But a couple of things, the networking in that room is going to be absolutely on fire. So
Yes.
we're only going to be able to hold 102 women. I sent out a blast text to all the 30 women from last year. And a couple other people have heard about it and have reached out. And I'm like, hey, we're going to open up registration next week. I already have 40 women on the list.
Awesome.
And I haven't even opened the registration yet.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have some very powerful women in that room. We're going to do some QAs. We're going to do public speaking for women. We're going to do, you know, a communication piece for women to be able to kind of write effectively. We're going to do a big, huge Q&A with 3 very powerful women in the industry. We're going to have Kim, which is a sales and marketing VP for Heritage. We're going to have Stacy, and she's the CEO of Raypack. And then we have Tyrin, and I don't remember her last name off the top of my head. Forgive me for that one, but she is a regional vice president for Pool Builder Supply.
Wow.
And so they're going to do a Q&A. We're going to do lunch the night before. There's going to be a networking event. And John, I say we are not going to do
We're not
anything.
gonna
The
do
women are going to do. The women are going to do all that. By the way, just to everybody out there, I'm going to be hiding behind the phone, kind of doing the social media thing. That's all I'm going to be doing. But super, super, absolutely excited about that event, because the other thing is that the women are not only passionate about it, but when the women commit to something, they commit. And I'm sorry to all the dudes out there, bro, but
It's like herding
there's
cats.
Yeah, there's a lot of you out there that are like, we want to do, and then poof, disappeared out into the
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because of business, and I couldn't do it because of that, and the women are like, if they say they're going,
Yeah.
they're
We'll be
going.
there.
Oh, yeah.
That-
We'll
like
be
they're
there.
going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
last year, every single woman that said that was going to be there
Was there?
was there. There was not
Yeah.
one person that registered and said,
Nope.
I can't go, or didn't show up.
Yeah.
So that was absolutely amazing. So I'm
we mean
super,
business.
I'm super excited about it. Yeah, they mean business.
Yeah.
So the commitment from all of them. And then again, I'm going to come back to the exact same thing, John, is our sponsors. I mean, we went to Heritage, we went to Natural Chemistry, we went to Aquastar,
Yep.
right? We went to Raypack, we went to all them and said, hey, we want to put this women's networking event, and if
Summit.
a summit. Thank you. It's a
Yeah.
summit this year. It
Yes.
is not. And we said, you know, if you want to be a part of the Pool Nation, you have to believe in that too, and you have to be part of that. And every single one of them was
Yep.
like, yep, we got it. We're
We're
in. Not only that, I
Nice.
went over to Heritage, and we were already looking at, you know, obviously the cost of the food, which is always the big part of it.
Right.
And so we were going, John and I were going back and forth, and we were like,
It's like,
okay.
I'm like, Edgar, how good do you cook? I think I can hold like 8 plates, because I used to be a server, right? When I was a kid, I used to work 2 jobs. I can hold like 4 plates on one side, 4 plates on one side. I'll be able to handle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so anyway, so I go out there, and they're just like, Heritage was just like, we got it. We got this. We're going to cover the food. Don't worry about it. You guys do what you guys do, putting the events together, facilitating everything, and we got it. And then Dave Cook, bless his heart, walks in the room as we're having a conversation, and he's not part of any of this, because I'm having a conversation with Kim, and he's like, what are you guys talking about? And he's like, let's do a networking event the night before. He goes, I want it here at Heritage. And we'll pay for the drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and we'll have a networking event for all the women, and we want them here.
It's fantastic.
And I'm just like,
Yes.
yes,
They get it.
They
get it.
They get it.
They
You know,
do.
these are the partners that we need. So anyway, so huge
Can't
shout
wait.
out for all those events. Michael is saying that he's going to be up there at the awards, and then Hassan knows how to throw a party.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon, big huge shout out
yeah.
to you out there. So so I can't wait, and it's going to come very quick. So not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday, we will have our conversation about the categories for the Pool Nation Awards. June 26th, in studio, we will have the Pool Guy and Pool Girl of the Year. We'll be announcing the opening of the nominations, which will be July 1st, and then it's off to the races.
Can't believe it's going to be here in like a minute.
God, dude,
Isn't that
just
crazy?
thinking-
Wait
gotta
a
go
second.
shopping.
So Shannon is saying that she's down to party. So Shannon, let me ask you: are you going to go to the Pool Nation Awards this year? Because I think I looked for you last year. Did you see her there, Janie? Last
I don't
year?
think
no,
so.
no.
No.
So we're putting you on the spot. I don't know if you caught on, Shannon. We just put you on the spot. So, anyways, those are all the things that we have going on. I think that we at least need to get to one or two
We
questions.
haven't even
before-
talked about the app. No, we're going to talk about the app.
Oh,
my
shit.
I don't
talk
think we're
about
going to
the
get to
app.
any questions.
Yeah. So,
That's right. I really don't think
do
so.
you want to talk about the app, or do you want me to talk about the app?
Take it away, Edgar.
Take it away. Okay. So let's see. I've got a good feeling about the awards this year.
you have a
there we
bad
go,
feeling
Michael.
last year?
There we go, Michael. Which, by the way, do you remember how sharp Michael was dressed last year?
No.
He had that like light blue.
Actually, I do. He
with
was.
the brown.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
He was, dude. That was sharp.
Dude, everybody was.
That was sharp.
dude.
Yeah.
Are we
Just
going
wait
to
till this year.
Are we going to do a theme? We kind of threw that around. Are we going to do a theme this next year, or are we going to stick to traditional
we're
black
sticking-
tie?
Well, no. This year we're going to get creative
Yeah.
with our
Yeah.
tuxedos.
It was
So the
just us.
question
Nice.
the question is, do we get creative and all match, or do we get creative and all? I think we should match.
I think
I
you should
want to. I want to
match.
see
Uh-huh.
individual personalities.
Oh,
I want to see what y'all come
Oh.
up with.
All right.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
That's a good one.
I'm going to do a
Spider.
zoot suit.
I was
Yeah.
just going to
Yeah.
say, I already know what I want you wearing.
Mhm.
Yes.
What's a zoot?
Ah,
What is
really,
that?
bro? Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
You have Google.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Use
A
the
spider.
Google.
Spider. Am I
Use
going to
the
be?
Google.
Am I going to be scarred over here, Spider? When I
No.
look it up? No.
Zoot suits are
Okay.
awesome.
No.
Okay. Because Spider, this is John we're talking about. Like,
Zoot suits are only for real players.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh,
yes.
did you just throw dirt at me,
He did.
Spider?
He just
Absolutely.
straight out
I
called
said
out, bro.
absolutely.
What the fudge? Damn.
I'll be looking for my invite in the mail.
You know
Yes.
what,
Yeah,
Spider?
let's-
I'll tell you what. Here's your invite
If
right
you-
there.
If you're willing to go out to Vegas, you're invited,
willing,
brother.
if you're willing to go, not only here's the thing, Spider. Not if you can make it to Vegas, not only are we going to invite you to the Pool Nation Awards, we will put you on stage to give out one of the awards.
All right, let's do it.
Done.
Oh,
And
awesome.
we will, because here's the thing, Spider. You're
Spider's
you're
family
known
now.
you're known in the pool industry because we talk about Spider all the
All
time.
right. And I'm not nervous to talk on a mic.
I
know
yeah,
you-
we know you're not.
Yeah.
So here's the only thing is you can't take a dig at me. So
Yeah.
so that's the only rule.
He's
So you-
very sensitive on the
you can,
award night.
You know,
Yeah.
you can make
well,
fun of
I'll
John.
just make sure you don't understand what I'm talking about.
Wow, Spider.
Love it.
Damn. I think I'm going to pay the bill a little bit late today. He's like, that's fine. You won't get
He's
your
all
audio
good.
files. Delete. Edgar,
Delete.
you don't have that script anymore. So, anyways, so Shannon is saying that she's hoping to make it this year. Shannon, all jokes aside, would really love to meet you in person. We all would. I know
Yeah.
that you're a big supporter and you're always on. So we would love to hang out with you at the awards and have the after party as well. So
Absolutely.
anyway, so the Poolman University app, let me jump into this real quick. So for everybody listening, if you have not downloaded the Poolman University app, this part sounds like an advertising. If you have not downloaded the Poolman University app, go to Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. That one was for you, Jenny.
Apple-
The
the
Apple
Google
Play
Play
Store.
Apple App Store.
The Apple App Store. Whatever
Apple
it is.
App
Whatever
Store.
that app, the Apple thing is.
I think it's just the App Store,
The
but
App Store.
The App Store. So anyway, so go to whatever it is, the Apple Store, the App Store, the
Go to that. How
iOS,
about
whatever
you
it
go into
is,
Apple
whatever it is, go to the Apple thing that they got with the button on the Apple phone and download the Poolman University app. On there, we have 12 courses with that you can take the 12 courses. You can get certificates of completion on there. There's quizzes.
Leaderboard.
There's leaderboard, and then John and I are going to finish the Borate video this weekend. We're going back and forth on the quiz, kind of,
Oh yeah,
and we kind of have to
I need to do the
finalize
quiz. Yeah.
So
it's my bad.
I did the quizzes, but then John sent them back to me. He's like, no, this is not what we're doing, Edgar. So I'm like,
No.
I'll wait till you come out to Dallas, and then we can figure out the quiz. So, anyways, and then we also have one that's going to be going on that is behavioral interviewing, which was
Yes.
one that Leanne did. We'll finalize the quiz for that, and then I have a couple other things. And we have a call at 2:30 today with Jamie Novak with
yes.
Natural Chemistry for some other stuff that we're going to be talking about. So
Yeah.
super excited about that. So.
Yeah, keep tabs on the app because within the next couple months we're gonna be pushing a lot of
Yep.
updates and some content on
Yep.
there, and it's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Again, guys, this is something is living and breathing, is gonna constantly be upgraded, and we got a lot of content that we're working on in the background that we're gonna be adding. And then we also have that. Don't forget that infamous or famous submit a question button on the very top, and then that's where you can also go to. You can sign up for the rewards for Heritage. If you guys the Pool Tech members that we were talking about are having the Pool Tech program through Heritage, you can also go through the app, and then you can click there, put all your information right there, and you submit, and you can automatically get connected and hooked up, so you can start saving.
if you'd
some
like
money.
to earn money.
Yeah, if you like
Yeah.
money, I
If
guess.
you like money.
If you don't want money, then don't do it.
Don't do it, right?
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
And
Right.
Free
yeah,
money.
I mean, every single pool guy or pool girl that is listening, there's absolutely zero reason why you're not signed up for that. So
And you need that in order to be able to take advantage of these extra offers that manufacturers have teamed up with Heritage to provide with extra rebates. Like we were talking about earlier about the heater through APAC, where there's a $200, I believe, counter incident rebate that you get already. But if you sign up with Heritage and you're part of the loyalty program, the Pool Tech members get an additional $150 off, so they get $350 off that heater.
that's huge.
It is
$350 is a
huge.
big amount of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, this is
And when you make that money's pure profit for you. So I mean that
Why not?
as a retailer or as a service professional, if you get a better deal or if you get better cost at items, doesn't necessarily mean that you sell it at a discounted price, right? You're still going to sell it where you need to, so that's extra profit that you get to put into your pocket.
Yep.
So
absolutely
no brainer.
Absolutely. All right, guys. John, one question today. Should we get through one question?
I guess I think we have what,
Gotta
15
do
minutes,
one.
maybe.
Okay.
We've already been doing this for a little over an hour.
Uh-huh.
So I think we can get into a question. I don't think we can
Yeah.
get into that first question, though.
You don't think we can get into the first question? Yeah,
Well,
probably.
it's a 4-part question.
This is a
right?
4-part
Yeah,
question.
that's going to be a little tough. Let's see. I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think we should at least, because I think if we don't answer a question, we're going to have to seriously think about if we have to rename the podcast, because we really didn't talk much about pools today. So let's start with the question. Let's kind of go through, because I think we still have a list of like over 100 now that we need to get through, and we are severely lacking when it comes down to getting them completed. So I'm going to kind of look through these real quick and see if there's a good question that we might be able to answer within about 10 minutes.
Okay, I got one.
If not, you got one?
I got one.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Give me a little high five over here, girl. Damn. Did you see that? She's like, wait, I got one. I
Mama
got one.
spoke. Let's do
Okay,
it,
gentlemen. Ready?
All right. I'm ready.
Mom. Okay.
Okay. How do you approach risk taking and decision making as a business owner? And what have been some of the most important lessons you've learned along the way?
Ooh, that's a good one, John.
Q John.
Can you repeat that one? Repeat
Yes.
it again. Hold
Yeah.
on. Repeat it. My
I'm
brain is
sorry, I was
spinning.
so lost in your eyes and your voice. I couldn't pay attention, baby. I'm like,
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
that's perfect. Spider's a man.
Great
Spider,
song.
you're the
Great
man.
song.
All right. Again, no, seriously, I'm gonna
Okay.
try not to look at you.
Focus.
Okay, I'm gonna focus.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you approach risk taking and decision making as a business owner? And what have been some of the most important lessons you've learned along the way?
That is an amazing question.
Do you want to go first?
If you want me to. You want me to, or do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
I think
I'll
if I
give-
go first, then you won't have time to answer because we're gonna run out of time.
Okay, so I'll
Probably
I'll
true.
give a short version.
No, I'm not gonna be that long. Mine's actually pretty. I'm not gonna talk about most important lessons because there's so many of them. I guess I can't. But
Yeah,
anyways,
so I'll tell you what. You get the first part of the question. I'll get the second.
okay.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, go.
So the question was, right, how do I approach risk taking and decision making as a business owner?
Correct.
Eyes closed, head first. No, far from, right? So look, this is a very, very good question, and it's a tough one to toe, and there is really no black or white answer with this one. I think personally, because there is. And just like anything in life, when you take the cautious route, okay, or you don't take risks, then you don't get the biggest rewards, right? But
Mhm.
in turn, the bigger, when we talk about it, if you take a big risk, there can also be a big loss. So you have to, as a business owner, you have to manage that, and it's a tough needle to thread. So I would personally, when it comes down to it, before I make any decision, especially if it's a risk-taking decision or it's kind of taking a leap of faith into something, I need to assess or make sure that whatever the repercussions of it failing or it not passing through, us as a business are able to survive. And it could be as simple as like, hey, I have $10,000 worth of capital that I'm sitting on, right? And I want to invest in something. Well, it could be, for instance, a tile rig, and you want to start doing tile cleaning, and you are, all you do is maintain pools or you service pools, and you focus on simple repairs, or you do water chemistry and servicing, stuff like that, but you don't necessarily do a tile cleaning, but you think it could be a lucrative job opportunity or an opportunity for your business. But before you can do it, you need to invest heavily into equipment in order to be able to do it correctly. And so, for instance, that is a risk that you can take.
Mhm.
But before I would make that risk, I would need to make sure that we as a company were able to absorb, as if I took that money and I just pissed it away or threw it away. All right. And
Tossed it out the window.
Yeah, tossed it out the
Yeah.
window or had a bad day at the casino, right? If I'm able to, if I can assess that, and I can take that, then the risk is worth it for me.
Yeah.
But again, situations change too, where you can be in a position as a company where if you're not doing well and you're failing, and you can read the writing on the wall, and business is declining and you are losing business and you see things going on a downtrend. Well, in those situations, it might be the risk is much more is worth it, because even if you know that regardless, if you don't do something, that you will fail eventually, that you need to take this risk in order to revive or to survive or to change the direction of the way your company's going. So it's tough. I can tell you that ordinary people aren't extraordinary, right? You need to take these risks sometimes as a business owner and in life and personal.
Leap of faith.
A leap of faith, right?
Yeah.
You got to jump. And I talk about that. There's a Steve Harvey little video that he does. And if anybody's ever, right now, if you have Google available, or when you're listening to this, type in there and type Steve Harvey and then type in parachute. And that jump video. And I send it to a lot of people that I talk to over the years. And I say, this right here really changed me. And it talks about taking a leap of faith sometimes and having some trust and belief. And sometimes you're in a position where you need to do that. But I'm in look, I'm in no way saying that you guys, whoever's out there, take a risk and risk everything for your life or your family and put everything at risk. That's not it. But I can tell you that if you want to differentiate yourself from your competition, and if you want to be bigger and better, you need to take some risks. But they can be calculated, right? And you can set up guardrails to where it doesn't, it won't be, critical or destroy you as a business or an organization. But I think it's very important to take some risks, because that's where you learn.
Isn't there a saying where if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing?
Yeah,
something like that.
Always, for sure, right?
Yeah,
and they do, and that you're paraphrasing perfectly right there. And it is, if what you're doing doesn't make you uncomfortable, right? Then you're not learning, or you're not doing something, or you're not
growing.
You're not growing, right? And it's easy for us to become complacent in life and say, "Well, I'm okay.
This is working. I'm going to stay here."
Yeah. But that doesn't work that way, right? Things change, times change, and you need to take those risks. And it's very important as a business owner to be able to calculate those risks correctly. And it doesn't, by no means, mean don't be reckless, because I promise you, it will catch up to you. But yeah.
Okay.
Calculated risks. Yeah.
All right.
Edgar.
Part 2. Here we go. So, what have been some of the most important lessons that you've learned along the way? I cheated, and I kind of wrote a couple things down while you were chatting away over there. And the first thing that I could tell people is that you have to have a plan. Like you can't do anything without having a plan. You have to have some sort of plan, and it doesn't have to be this 50-page complicated thing that's gonna, cover everything. But you have to have a plan, and that means that you have to sit down and you have to figure out where you're at, what it is that you want next, right? And in our business, a lot of times that conversation is very easy. Is you're a single poler, you want to hire people, right? But you have to sit down and think about it and go, when I get to hire people, am I going to do W-2? Am I going to do independent pool guys? Am I going to do repairs? If I'm going to do repairs, at what stage of my journey am I going to go in to hire somebody that could just do sales and put together a repair team, right? And as business owners, one of the things that we tend to do is take that leap of faith, and then, we let the business drive us day to day, right? We're just living day to day into the business of what we do, because we're so busy. We're so busy flipping pools, scrubbing tubs, getting that heater, getting that pump. And then tomorrow we start all over again, right? We go back out, we do those 16 pools, we do the, and what happens is time flies by. I mean, you lift your head and 10 years have gone by.
Crazy fast.
And
tell me about it.
And 10 years later, you realize, holy crap, I'm on this, just what is
autopilot.
What is it called? Groundhog Day, right? It's like I've just been kind of on this constant. And so you have to have a plan, and you have to strategize. You have to stop, sit back, and strategically think, okay, by year 2, I want to hire my first employee. And in order to do that, I might need to have 100 pools so that financially I can afford that. But you have to write that down. You have to know by this time I'm going to do that, so that 10 years later, you don't poke your head up and go, wow, that's been 10 years of my life, where 5 years now, my business could be at a totally different thing, right? And I was guilty of it, right? The first couple of years, man, I just dug my head because I had to learn everything.
Grinding by yourself, yeah.
And I stopped doing the things that I was good at, the things that I knew that I was good at, just because I was in this Groundhog Day of I need to get out and clean pools, I need to do repairs, I get home, I'm tired, right? And it wasn't until probably about year 3 that I lifted my head and I just kind of went, wow, what am I doing, right? like there's a lot of things that I'm good at, and I've just kind of pushed them away to the corner just because I'm focused on getting this done, right? So you have to have a plan. That's the very first thing. The next thing is you have to be willing to fail. The biggest lessons in life, and we've heard this from a lot of people on the podcast, the biggest lessons in life come from your failures and not from your successes, right?
That's the only time you learn is from losing or from failing. And
I think a lot of pool pros are the same as me, to where people told me, don't do an above ground pool. It's going to be a nightmare for you, right? We're in a market that it's all in ground. Oh, I could do it. I could take care of that pool. And 3 months into it, I'm trying to figure out how to fire the customer because I just absolutely hate my life, right? But unless I did that, I didn't fail and I didn't realize I can't do that, right? Like it's not good for my business to do that. Or the classic thing of, I'm going to try to help my customer save a buck. And instead of fixing that the proper way, I'm going to Mickey Mouse it to save them a buck, to be a hero, right? And that come back to bite me in the ass and then be like, and, so your best things come from failures is what they come from. They don't come from successes. So, be comfortable. And like Janie was saying, if you're not in that uncomfortable situation, you're not going to learn. And that's the truth, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be willing to fail. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about every single time until I'm blue in my face is you have to know your numbers, right? Like if you don't know your financial numbers, if you don't take the time to learn about accounting, to learn about numbers, and I know A, it's boring, 2, we're intimidated by it, but I can promise you this. The day that you learn your numbers, the day that you learn what your profit is for your business, what your cost of your service is, that day you will become a better business owner. Because at that moment, you are going to know your numbers and it's going to fundamentally change the way that you do business. Because what you're going to find out is that if you're not charging enough and you're only making 10 cents on every dollar, you're going to be like, bull crap, I'm not doing this anymore. I am not going out there and quoting, $100 for service or, happy with making $300 to install a pump, right? That seems like a lot. That took me 3 hours to install, right? So the moment that you know your numbers, it fundamentally changes the way that you do business. And I've talked to people that go out and say, hey, I was charging $150. And once I learned my numbers, I knew that I needed to be out $180. Mm-hmm. And I went out and I quoted service and I got the next 5 customers at $180. But it was because I knew that I had to level up my service and level up my sales pitch. And now I know that unless I'm at $180, I'm not going to be successful.
Yeah.
So I think that would be, I think 3 of my key points.
Yeah. And I mean, it falls exactly what I said at the very beginning. It's a risk, right? You're taking a risk. Well, how do you evaluate what that risk is, right? You need to understand what the consequences of failure is and understanding your numbers and knowing that impact that it'll have on your company. You just can't go out there and say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then let's just see what it does willy-nilly, right? And then that's when you're going to put yourself in a position of failure. But I want to talk about another point real quick because we only have a couple minutes left, and we also talk about planning, right, and coming up with a plan and analyzing stuff. But that's a fine line as well too. I know a lot of people that create paralysis by overanalysis. Okay, and sometimes you sit there and you overthink something too much, or you analyze something too much, or you're to the point where you literally can miss an opportunity as well. And it's not easy, folks. And I know a lot of what we're talking about right now goes, well, you're saying this and then you're saying this. Well, yeah, welcome to being a business owner and an entrepreneur. If it was simple for everybody, then anybody can do it.
Right.
It's a different breed and every situation is different. I wish it was as easy as me writing a book and saying, hey, look, this is exactly what you do in this certain situation. You know what I mean? I'd publish it and it'd be great. And then everybody would buy it. And then I'd be sitting here just talking to everybody every single week. And that's all I need to do. Right. But the truth is, every situation is a little different, and one way isn't always the correct way. But you need to understand that you can win. There's not just one way of path to victory. There's multiple ways. But you just got to keep that into consideration when you are making those decisions. So that's it. Did we make it?
Yeah, we made it just in time.
Yeah.
Just in time here. Appreciate that. So. All great information. And the funny thing is we always jump into it and then we just kind of go deep dive, like we go down that rabbit hole. Yep. So anyways, Michael's saying you can't be successful without taking risks. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. So, hey, let's do this. We're going to do something a little bit different, John.
We're going to get Janie's final thoughts.
Yep.
Oh. Yep.
Uh-oh.
And Janie's going to be it. So no final thoughts from Edgar or John or Zach because he's not here. So let's take a word from
just
our
me.
sponsors. When we come back, this is Janie's show.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC Heat Exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. And I'm super excited, as you can tell in my voice, because today we have final thoughts, but we only have one final thoughts.
Only ones that
And
matter.
those are those are Janie's, which, by the way, John, she turned to me and she goes, I got this. I'm going to do the final thoughts, not you guys. And I'm like, beautiful. So without further ado, Janie, final thoughts.
Mama Flawless.
Mama Flawless. No, I just wanted to mention the Women's Summit and want to make sure that, all the pool girls and girls in the industry come to that. But more importantly, I wanted to mention the boot camp, being more one-on-one and kind of having a safe place for women. Being a woman that's been in the other trainings of the other big three, being in the class of usually all men, maybe one or two women. And one, you get stared at automatically because you're a woman, you know what I mean, in the man's world, let alone want to raise your hand to ask a question. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to encourage them to come to this one and have it be more of a safe place and answer your questions without feeling embarrassed or, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll
she'll be there.
be there. But it'll just be more comfortable and be able to ask the questions that you need to ask without being judged or being stared at and that type of thing. So that was pretty much it.
No, that's
really
short
good.
and sweet.
That's really good, and that's a great point.
I think she just called us out too.
Yeah, she did. That's what I'm saying.
I like
she
it.
Just
I like it.
But it's a great point. It's an absolutely great point that just now has my mind spinning of how are we going to address that in the training room, right? Because we want to make that and everybody listening, you guys know that if there's one thing that we love doing is we love asking the basic questions, and we actually encourage people to ask the basic questions because there's a lot of people in the room that are afraid to ask the question or that pretend that they know the answer to it. They don't, right?
Exactly.
Just think, how many times have you guys just remember back in the day when you've been in a training before and you wanted to ask a question, but you didn't ask a question because you were embarrassed to do it, and then finally someone had the courage to do it, and how many people are like, thank God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the majority of it.
Yeah.
There's always, not always, but sometimes there's some dummy in the room that makes some comment, but the vast majority of the time they're like,
we won't put up we won't put up with that crap. Trust me.
We won't. And here's, you just made me think about something, and that is and we'll talk about it this weekend, Janie and John, as we kind of start to put a plan together for these trainings this weekend. We'll definitely address that, how to set up the room also so that it's more inviting for the women to kind of feel comfortable. And maybe we have, half of the room for the women and half of the room for the men. I've heard in the past women not liking if they've had to share to do it with men. So, maybe what can we do? But
I like that idea.
But, let's talk about it
together.
Yeah, let's talk about it this weekend and we'll put that game plan in place. All right, Mr. Spider. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
We love coming down. We love hanging out with you. We really appreciate it. And your invitation is there for Las Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to work that out.
So you've talked to everybody. So here's the problem, Spider. If you don't do that, you're going to get a lot of haters coming after you. So
I can deal with haters.
So you're going to have to be careful. And then you might even get a whole bunch of people mad that they start giving you bad reviews. And when we go on the live, they start commenting. So you better be careful.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
I could tell you this, Spider, just as much as there's been pictures of social media of me with my heads in toilets. So I'll just leave it at that. So
gold toilet.
Gold toilet.
Dude,
at least it was
like
a gold
party.
At least it was a gold toilet, baby. They knew I was worth the gold, baby.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that later.
So anyways, everybody, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for jumping on and listening live. We will catch you guys next week. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at Pool.Nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to PoolInvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolManUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolManUniversity.com.